Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto. I hope you had a great day. So today we've got Gafisa, in a major real estate company in Brazil, is now accepting crypto for real estate transactions. Brian Armstrong of Coinbase says that the regulatory signals from the Biden administration seem to be positive. That's actually a very big deal. It's a highly regulated space, and obviously all of the exchanges operating in the United States are paying very close attention to what's going on. We'll dig into that because there's a lot more behind that story. The SEC has yet to approve a spot ETF, a crypto spot ETF. Well, Ark Invest has joined the list of companies that want to actually have one, so they filed their application. That's going to be interesting. Portugal, a long time safe haven for crypto, meaning taxless country, is considering taxes and doing a little bit more than considering. South Korea has asked all of the exchanges in South Korea to freeze the assets of the Terra Luna Foundational Guard, or LFG. It's actually Luna Foundational Guard. That's a very big deal. Commonwealth Bank in Australia, Australia's largest bank, has paused their crypto trading testing in their app. That's going to be interesting too. There's some reach there. There's some big story behind that. Crypto market took a hit today. I'm going to demonstrate to you in a little while that bands I've shown you before that I have an outer band and I have a smaller, more narrow inner band. Well, we dipped below the low of the inner band today. It came back up, but we did dip below. So we're going to get into but it is interesting. In Brazil, that's crazy interesting. The reason why they're accepting crypto or crypto assets for real estate transactions is because they're tired of having, people in the middle. We're going to do something different. And I to continue. When you look at adoption, business has reason to adopt. And as more businesses adopt, people adopt. As more people adopt, businesses adopt. And it just keeps growing from there. For businesses, one of the main reasons is because when you do a transaction, the bulk of that money goes into your pocket, as opposed to this percentage goes over here and this percentage goes over there. So it's something to really think about. And if you look at that one thing as an example, that epitomizes why traditional finance is scrambling to find their place in a crypto world. Very much so. That's something that's not a little thing. That's actually a big deal. So think about that as you continue to do your own research on the coins and things that you're interested in, because again, adoption is key, right? But as adoption grows, it'll grow. Now, regulatory issues. The United States obviously does not have a robust regulatory framework for crypto. But the signals that it's passing, even I've noticed this, is that they seem to be a little on the positive side. Frankly, I think just having regulation is a good thing. You have some guardrails up, because as much as I preach doing your own research, most people don't. I had a conversation with my friend T earlier, and he's like, listen, I keyed in on 2 coins and that's it. It was Ethereum and Chainlink. And I'm like, those are both good coins. Those are both really good coins, but they're not the only ones. I've been saying for a long time, it's not going to be a single coin that's going to emerge as the only coin. Every project has their own utility, their own special use that they excel at, or they should. If there's no utility, I wouldn't be interested, right? So it's something to think about as you look at regulations. I mean, all of the big exchanges are lobbying the United States government to get on the ball and do something about regulation. So pay attention to that. I think that's an emerging space, and it's going to affect everything that goes on in crypto within the United States. We still have 5 states where crypto is really a hard thing to do. New York being amazingly enough, New York is still hard to do business as a crypto business. That's why California is beating the crap out of New York with regard to how many crypto businesses are there. 25% of Web3 tech companies are in California, not New York. I think that's pathetic. Pathetic. As we consider ourselves one of the major financial capitals of the world, and New York is making it hard for crypto to move in. Gee, I wonder why. The pressure on the SEC is mounting to allow a spot ETF. So Kathy Wood has her Ark Invest has filed an application to actually try to get a license for a spot crypto ETF. Europe, it's happened already. United States, we're asleep at the helm. If we keep sleeping, technology will leave the country. It really will. We're making it hard. We're making it hard to figure out how do we do business in the United States. And I said, right? So I own a crypto company. We've got crypto integrated into our platform. Natively integrated, not we're using a third party or anything like that. We speak to the blockchain, to several blockchains rather, not just one. But it's hard to figure out how do you do business in the United States? I mean, how do you do business in the United States? And then on top of that, how do you do business state to state? It's tough. So I think now's the time that the SEC is feeling some heat. They're not doing so well with the whole Ripple case, and now you've got spot ETFs that are lining up, and sooner or later there's going to be so much pressure that it's going to burst at some point. Now Portugal has long been a tax safe haven for crypto. Now they're looking at integrating, charging tax. They shot down 2 tax proposals just now, but I think the government is going to wind up doing it. As crypto adoption increases, traditional transactions decrease. Well, you got to get that money from somewhere to run the government. It's got to be a tax. Is it going to be a high tax? Doubtful. I doubt that, but there should be some tax, right? You got to fund the government. So there's going to be some kind of tax. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, and then what the ripple effect would be around the world. Like, do they choose the right path? Because they're still inviting crypto. I mean, it's a safe haven. And it's not just the safe haven status. It's the adoption. It's the usefulness. I can buy a house in Portugal with crypto. Something to think about. Let's do something in the United States. It's getting tough. South Korea. Wow. Terra. Right? So Terra messed up, obviously. They're saying, I read an article today that they were saying that it was Citadel that, was really the catalyst for it all. I don't know. I guess it'll come out sooner or later. We'll see. But South Korea, the government has asked exchanges in South Korea to freeze finances for the Luna foundational guard. That's kind of a big deal. You knew the government was going to go after them. That shouldn't be a surprise. You knew the government was going to go after them. What is surprising, though, is that you're going to go after them after they're demonstrating that they're trying to fix it. I don't know. Were you asleep when? I mean, if you thought there was something wrong with it before, why didn't you go after it before? Why'd you wait until it failed to go after it? Why'd you wait until after all those people lost their money? So I don't know. There's just a lot of details that I would want to see. Here's what's funny though. Exchanges do not have to abide by. There's no law that says exchanges have to abide by the request. That's really interesting. So I'm going to try to keep an eye out for, do they actually abide by the request? Because it's just a request. They can only request that they do that. That's going to be really interesting to me. Now, Australia, citing regulatory concerns, Commonwealth Bank, the country's largest bank, mind you, was running a pilot. They foretold that there was going to be a problem, but it had nothing to do with the pilot, it had everything to do with regulation. Well, they said now that, they're stopping the pilot and they're stopping everything until they can figure out what the regulatory infrastructure is going to be, or framework is going to be in Australia with regard to cryptos. Makes sense. Really makes sense. Australia's government, though, you're not making sense. You're not making sense. I mean, at some point, all of the countries that are out there, I mean, what are the things that could be going through their mind? What could be going through their mind is, if we allow crypto, it's going to disrupt the traditional financial markets. It's going to disrupt fiat. Yeah, that's what it can do. But if you don't get ahead of it, then you can't be a part of it, in which case you actually do fail. By overreacting, you stop the progress of all of those companies, and you possibly cause harm to your citizenry that are actually adopting crypto. Now, cross-border transactions, no need for foreign exchanges. There are a lot of factors that go into why a government would not want crypto to boom, right? The question is, hasn't it already? Hasn't the idea of the fear already happened, and now it's just a matter of increasing adoption? Because the more you throw at it, it's just getting, crypto just finds a way. As an industry, as a space, it just finds a way. Gonna have to figure that out. I was joking around with one of my friends the other day, and I said, when you look at these comic books, they talk about credits. They don't talk about any specific fiat. They talk about credits. Literally universal credits. From planet to planet, credits. Let that wash over you for a minute. Credits. So things about, technology, the funny thing about technology is it happens. The coolest thing about comic books is a lot of technology in comic books happen. Dick Tracy had a video watch, has everything. Last time I checked, that exists now. Star Trek introduced doors that opened up, given your proximity to the door. We've had that for years. Scanning food, walking out the door, because you scanned all the food and hit a credit card, and you just kept walking. I remember there was a commercial eons ago with it's that guy from Magnum PI. I always forget his name, but He was in the commercial as the voice. He has a great voice, great mustache. And he was talking about how you forgot to turn off your lights at home. You're sitting on a train and you hopped on the internet and you turned off your lights. We can do that now. Crypto isn't going anywhere, meaning it's not going to go away. It's going to grow. The prices will fluctuate. Utilities will continue to rise. Bad projects will continue to fall. Good projects will thrive eventually. But that economy, that crypto economy, if that's what you want to call it, is growing. It's a fact. It's not fiction. It's a fact. So strap on. Just grow up. A lot of these governments need to catch up. I wanted to add this one little note about Doge. Doge took a dive today, and I'm thinking about buying some more. And the reason why is because Elon has now doubled down, tripled down on his intentions for Twitter, because now he's actually going to put in his own money. His strategy now is he's convinced Jack Dorsey and a couple other people to roll their shares over into the new the new Twitter. Well, we all know that Elon loves Doge. So what are the chances that that news finally hits the world and Doge picks up again? I think it's highly possible. Anyway, keep your eyes out. There are a lot of good things from a foundational perspective that are going on in the crypto space that are just making things happen. Let's get to the numbers, because that's pretty interesting. So obviously, I mean, look at that. Losers killed winners, right? There are almost no winners. Almost no winners here. A lot of losers. See, SafeMoon. This is what I was calling out the other day. This is what I was calling out yesterday. SafeMoon was up yesterday and it dropped 20% today. There's a rhythm. There's a rhythm to it. There is a rhythm to it. I don't know if I want to play with it, but there is a rhythm to it. So it's over here right now. Give it a couple of days. It'll be over here. It'll be on the winner side in a couple of days, I think. Tezos. Wow. That's actually a project that I'm interested in. Avalanche down 17%. So you're looking at ApeCoin down. Wow. Look at that. 15%. You have a lot of things that are down that, rank pretty high. I mean, ApeCoin is ranked 38 in terms of market cap. Kusama 84, is that ranked 84th and down 15%. I've seen these names over here on the good side. Uniswap just had great news and they're down 14%. Explain. $1 trillion in trade value? What? 3.9 million users in a month cumulatively? And you're down 14%? Yeah, there's a rhythm and you can catch it. Catch it. We're down $5 billion in total value locked. That's significant. That's very significant. Fear and greed index is up. I think it was 10 yesterday, and today it's 12. Bitcoin. This is what I wanted to show you. You see that? We dipped lower than our inner floor, and we came down to 28.11. And I looked this morning and I was like, "Ooh, this is not looking pretty." And I thought it would fight back a little bit. It wasn't for a long time. It was a blip, but guess what? I've got to move the line now. I've got to move the line now. Actually, I'm trying to move the line now. There you go. So there you go. All right, 27,978 is what it seems like. Let me see if I can zoom in, get that line right. There you go. Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much right. That's pretty much right. So I've had to expand that now. That's not pretty. That's not pretty. It was a blip. It was a blip. but it happened. So we had to increase the size of our inner space. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I should leave it there and maybe create another one right here. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We draw it right there. 27,978.90. And then we pay attention to it if it hits that low again. I think that's the better deal. Do that. But we have not gone all the way down to here. The volume was high when that happened. All right. Cryptocurrency, looking at the big picture, excuse me, this is something else to call out. ETH is down in the 1700s. Excuse me, that's huge. That's huger than huge because that's a buy. To me, I think that's a buy. Even if you're just looking at the new pricing, that's a buy because sooner or later it's going to be back at 2,000, 2,100, and that's a quick couple of $100 that you're going to make. I think it'll happen within the next couple of weeks, maybe not even a couple of weeks. Now, can everything take another dive? Yes, everything can take a dive. Maybe this is a hint that it is going to take a dive. It's highly possible. I think nothing. I don't think anything is going to change until some kind of macro event changes it. Now, let's suppose that Russia left Ukraine, just leaves Ukraine, right? That doesn't mean the sanctions are going to go away. They're going to be there for, I think, a time to come because Russia needs to learn a lesson. So I think those sanctions are going to be there for a time to come. But that would mean that wheat prices would get corrected. It would mean that certain stocks like John Deere would go up because they'd have to sell product over to Ukraine because Russia deployed, the farming equipment. So there are things that would have to happen, but that stop, I think, would be a jolt to the market, and you'd start seeing something go up. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything goes. But looking at DCA strategy, I'm looking at this and I'm going, it's hard not to get in. It's hard not to see that number and get in. BTC trading down below 29,000, hard not to get in. Really hard not to get in. XRP at 38 cents, 38.8, hard not to play with that. But you got to pay attention. Dominance, I just realized dominance is at 44.88. That's actually a big deal. That's actually a very big deal. I actually kind of like that. But I think you should always do your own research. I do my research so I can grow my bag. You should do your research so you can grow your bag. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto. If you like what I'm doing, hit the like button. Definitely subscribe. I love that. Shows my kids that, people like what we're doing. I think that's great. And definitely hit the notification bell so you know when I'm dropping a new video. Hope this helps. Have a great night. Bye-bye.